Wow, very good evening, and it is full time at the Etihad Stadium, and it is finished Manchester City 7, Leeds 0. That's right, Manchester City 7, Leeds 0. Here to tuck into all the action, especially that second half. I think we might need a full hour show for this one. It's Shaun Goater and Shaun Wright-Phillips. Shaun, I'll come to you for this one. We thought it'd be damage limitation for Leeds, and well, it kind of became quite the opposite, didn't it?
Well, it did. I mean, Shaun, we said earlier, Shaun was saying what they need to do, because they can't do anything any different, is close up that yardage. Instead of being 3 yards short, they need to get closer and get closer among City players. Well, clearly they didn't, because City just moved it, popped it about. They struggled to sort of adjust to saying, well, we're just going to have a mid-block. They weren't chasing around it as much, but again, this was a case of them not knowing exactly what to do differently. And City moved the ball, shifted the ball, the quality and the pace that we moved it. Some brilliant performances by City and some brilliant finishes.
There really, really was. I mean, Shaun, how impressed were you with City's performance as a whole, on an individual basis and a team basis as well? Was it how good we were or how bad Leeds were today?
It was all about City for me. I think this display today reminded me of, I think there was a cup game where there was a few complaints that City didn't let up and they shouldn't have scored. I think it was 8 in the cup.
Yes.
And that's what it reminds me of, that City, where they didn't care what the scoreline is. They just wanted more and more and more goals. And they were so clinical in front of goals. One of them was a bit lucky with the clearance, but you make your own luck.
Yes.
And City just kept going and going. And it's a fantastic thing to hear. And we're hearing that Zinchenko's the only person that hasn't scored as a stat. So people talk about, we need a striker. Why do we, if we've got 18 players of a squad scoring goals?
Exactly. And case in point tonight, I mean, I'm going to try and remember and go through all the goal scorers. I mean, it was probably the worst possible start Leeds could have had to the second half. You know, I'm sure Bielsa would have tried to say, come out and just feel yourself into the first 10 minutes second half, but it was Riyad Mahrez in 48 minutes that soon put that game plan to bed.
And we're thinking, you know, you don't allow Mahrez to come on his left foot, but Mahrez, even though you don't want him to come on his left foot, he has the ability to fake you as though he's going to his right and get it onto his left. And well, once he does that, you know, it's a beautiful strike. Keeper couldn't really do much about it. I mean, his technique is just really good. Mahrez, he plays on a different time. It's like he does it. We talk about it. He's a little slow in his movement, but it's still it's faster than the defenders. It's amazing. But again, Mahrez having that strike and it just set off then, and you just think, well, this can be 5 or 6. And, well, we know it ends up being 7.
There we go. Then it returned to, an unbelievable goal. He was given the man of the match here inside the Etihad Stadium. Kevin De Bruyne with his second goal. And, I mean, perfect side for you, but sure, what a strike that was. That was vintage KDB, wasn't it?
It was a magnificent strike. The worrying thing for the rest of the Premier League is that he's not even got going yet. That's what I think the scary thing is. It's his first 90 minutes in a while. So the more he gets fitter and sharper, he'll be doing that later on in the game or even creating more chances. So it's great to have him back, especially leading in to this busy Christmas period.
I mean, you could see it as well when the space opened up from you thought there's only one place it's going, and is it now the fact he's kind of got his range in, so to speak, that we can maybe look forward to seeing a few more of them, do you think?
Yeah, I think so. It was that situation that me and Goats were saying before at half-time, that one of City players has brought all the lead players into that corner. Everybody knows Kevin De Bruyne is amazing at finding the space. All he did was step back 3 yards. The ball came to him. It's one touch. It's a free shot. And he gets that free shot and he hits it perfectly.
It really did absolutely rifled. If you've not a chance to see it, I mean, you can see Aaron the Mank there. He's very happy with it. Take a bow indeed, and our man of the match. Then we head back to the defenders because they thought we want to jump in the action. And really lovely to see. We had Rodri kind of came off, Fernandinho came on, and then Diaz was rested for Ake and got up and got his goal, didn't he, Shaun?
Yes, well, prior to that we had Stones had come up. Again, he's had 2 or 3 efforts, Stones. He had come up. He's hit it with, I think it was his right foot, then it's with his left foot, but it comes back a third time and he finishes it. And I think Stones has probably thought, I don't want to be the last one to not score, and he scored, so I got to get his,
very true.
make sure I get in the score sheet. But again, you're seeing Stones run on that right-hand side, overlapping. There was 2 or 3 times. I mean, we're tapping each other like, look at this. This is our center back, one of our center backs, playing fullback, obviously, overlapping, running into the box 2 or 3 times. But this is why he ends up being there, because of how we play, but also because of Leeds. They play this 1-on-1, and then once a man is beaten, we've got the overload, and Stones is making a run. So he ends up inside the box, and it's a brilliant finish, because the angle's a bit against him, but does well to finish. He does some sort of celebration. We didn't quite catch it because we were sort of behind him, but I'm intrigued to know what that celebration was. But maybe it's like, I'm scored a goal. So, yeah,
don't you? I mean, as well, obviously, I don't think Leeds threatened too much, unfortunately, but of course, playing a little bit out of position there, Shaun, and he, as you say, he looked very happy at right back, didn't he? He thought he did a good job.
Yeah, very well, I think, throughout the game. If I'm right, I think it was one decision he sort of made, and it got cleaned up because, we attack as a team, defend as a team. But again, there was so many really positive performances. Stones playing in that right back position, doing really well, know when to go forward, when to sort of keep it, draw players in. It did not look like a centre back playing right back. And sometimes that's what you see. You can see a player playing out of position. You go, no, that's not his position. He needs to be back centre half. But this is the intelligence and City. Pep Guardiola wants players that can play in 2 or 3 positions, so that he can say, yep, you may be a centre back, but I may play you holding midfielder. I may play you right back and not look out of place.
I mean, you're right, that was my mistake. It was Stones just before, then Ake popped up 2 minutes later, and nice to see Ake getting on the score sheet and on the pitch as well. I'm sure that'll do him the world of good, Shaun.
Yeah, it's great. I think Pep made the right decision, obviously, with Diaz. Be nice for the rest, but also on a yellow card, one away from suspension. So I think that was a major call, especially for the run-up. But to come on, and obviously you see Ake in the box all the time from corners. He always attacks it well at both ends, by the way. So he's always likely to give you that goal. And his leap was fantastic, and he put it back across to the face of the goal, which was cool. And Rafinha had obviously stepped into the middle, and it goes in by the post. But that's great from Ake.
For me, I found that Ake had so much space. I mean, when he jumps, the nearest defender's like 3 yards away, and you think, what Leeds players are thinking is like, he's a danger man. You know that he's good in the air. Yes, there's several others, but you're also thinking like, he's going to be somebody that they'll look to hit. So Leeds, they got some work. I'm really disappointed, and I feel that this could be, a game that could, where the fans can lose a bit of belief about what the manager's doing, because, again, they play such a different way. In certain teams, they could do it, but to try to go, man for man against Man City, certainly the wrong call today.
Well, and off that, Shaun, and you never want to kind of be digging out any of opposition managers, and the way, Bielsa has been talked about, we all know what he's done, and we admired Pep for sticking to his system. But is it a little bit foolish and almost like that kind of when does courageous become stupidity to try and come to this City team the way we've been playing at the moment to try and do what we've done, and then you've ended up with 7-0? Or have you got to admire it that at least they stuck to the principles?
Well, you kind of have to look at it this way, that not an excuse for Leeds, because City played fantastically. But I think his mistake was coming here with 5 or 6 key players missing that won them the game here the same way pressing last season, to playing with a complete different team and think they can maintain that against the quality of City. If you're free, you might as well say if you're 2 seconds late to the midfielders and the attackers that City are playing, it's a big issue. Because they have that first touch to manipulate the ball so well, but that by the time you cover that 2 seconds, they're already gone. And then that's you're done after that. And City showed it time and time in that game that if you're late, we're going to punish you for it. And they got punished 7 times, basically.
Unbelievable. I mean, Shaun, we kind of now are going to kind of keep looking at. Of course, we're coming another game at the weekend, but I guess now for coming into this busy fixture period and the goal difference as well. Of course, we know we were a little bit behind Chelsea and Liverpool. Probably the best thing we could have asked for, couldn't it, now as we hit this December period? And I think that now puts us to within 2 goals of Chelsea. I know they haven't played yet on that goal difference, which of course is important as well.
Yeah, this is phenomenal, by City, because I thought it was quite a bit to make up, but in Pep we trust. This is what these guys are able to do. And as Shaun said, without a recognised striker, and when you see 7 goals that could have been 8 or 9. you think, do you really need a striker? Absolutely phenomenal. And you need this rotation. You need players to come in. And, we were thinking, Rice hasn't come on, Sterling hasn't come on yet. And I'm thinking that a player that's on form, just give me 15 minutes. Give me 15 minutes.
Yeah.
I'll score. In a game like this, I know that's what he'll be thinking. But, again, he'll be important in the other games to come to play a part, to keep this run going, keep these goals going. We have a phenomenal squad, but today was absolutely beautiful. It was a masterclass in if a team want to go 1-to-1, how to hold your positions, also interchange and move the ball and let the ball do the work. It was just beautiful to watch.
It really, really was. Shaun, beautifully put. And I think as well, maybe that might have happened, or we could have seen Palmer, but there was that substitution at the beginning of the second half. Gundogan did come on for Bernardo. We're hoping it's not a knock or an injury. I'm sure we'll be finding that out in due course. If we can get it before we go, we'll bring you that straight away. But one thing we can bring you is today's man of the match in the form of Mr. Kevin De Bruyne. Here he is speaking to us at full time.
Kevin, that was an incredible performance by you on the team. You must really have enjoyed that.
Yeah, I think we started really well, and I think we kept the ball at the right times. And I think once we saw the openings be in the defense, I think we attacked them really well. And then obviously scoring 2-3 goals, it makes the game easier. But I think a lot of new players who didn't play that much last games played, and they chipped in with goals. So I think it's a big boost for everybody.
We looked really fresh, and right from the start we were in their faces. We've played Leeds before and had difficult games.
Yeah.
What was different this time, do you think?
Well, I think we punished them at the right times. I think it was still a very hard game physically. They defensively they play almost man to man. So if you beat your man, you have a chance of winning. I think the forward players 1v1 were amazing, and that makes a difference.
It's great to see you look back to your very best tonight. You must have really enjoyed it.
Yeah, obviously it's been a different season for me. I've had a lot of difficulties with head, ankle, COVID. So there's nothing much that I can do. These are moments that happen. But I came back after attracting COVID, and I'm working hard to come back to the level that I need to be. So I played 2 games, came in 2 games, so I'm feeling better day by day, so I'm okay.
And your first goal, it's not very often you run onto a Kevin De Bruyne type pass, is it, and bury it. You must have enjoyed that one.
Yeah, obviously, I saw the space, and he puts me deep, so should have scored that, honestly.
And what about your second one? You don't do ordinary goals, do you?
No, I do. Obviously, whenever you get a chance and you think you got an opportunity to score, you try it. And obviously, I hit it very clean with a lot of power, so it was a nice goal.
A good sight. And what was really important tonight as well was our goal difference has taken a real boost. I think we're only 2 behind Liverpool now. It could be crucial this season, couldn't it?
Yeah, maybe, but I don't think it's something we should think about. Obviously, other season maybe we scored a little bit more, but teams are playing more and more defensively, so it gets harder. And I think at the moment we just try and maintain to win game by game, and then obviously in the end of the season, if we need it, it can help us. But that's not really something I think we should think about at the moment.
Finally, 506 goals, I think it is, under Pep's reign. You've been here all that time. It's an incredible achievement, isn't it?
Yeah, but I think everybody knows how we play. It's since the beginning, it's never changed. So I've been here 5.5 years with Pep, and even before with Pellegrini was the same. So we play offensive style. We try to attack a lot of times and score goals. And obviously we did it really well.
No, it's so good to watch. Thanks a lot, Kevin. Thank you. Cheers, Kevin.
Gosh, it really was so good to watch. A treat for all our eyes, indeed. And it was mentioned there, of course, Pep is now the fastest manager to 500 league goals. We had a question as well coming on Twitter saying before the game who is going to be the scorer of that 500th. It was indeed Phil Foden. But that as a feat, that's kind of faster than Klopp. That's faster than all the Premier League great managers. It's quite unbelievable. Again, breaking records, as we said before the show.
Yeah, I mean, there seems to be... We go and play these games, and then we're not aware of a record, and then all of a sudden we're like, oh, that's another record, and Pep and these players just seem to go in and do it. It's absolutely phenomenal because I'm sitting there thinking, That is, I'm not sure the exact ratio, but that's like about 2.5 goals per game or something like that. It's phenomenal in the amount of games we played that we score these goals. And I just feel privileged to be associated with the club, to be able to watch us play the football that we play. An offensive manager that puts on displays like this.
Yeah.
We're just really blessed.
Well, it's a treat. I was just saying to my dad, because this next record I'm going to talk about is today we've matched Bob Paisley's Liverpool record for most wins in a calendar year, which is currently 33. So that puts on 33, and we've still got, the rest of December to play. I mean, Shaun, we spoke about this on the show before, but I remember watching a season where I don't think we scored a goal at home. So now I'm talking about that as potential we could win 34 to 35 games in a calendar year. It's frightening, really, isn't it, Shaun?
Yeah, it's frightening, but it's also fantastic to see the mentality that Pep has kind of created, not only within the team, but around Manchester and within the fans. We're all going into games now thinking, yeah, we should win this one.
Yeah.
And then after that game, everyone's forgotten about the one we just won, and we're going to go on to move to try and win the next one. Yeah. And that mentality of treating people that and teaching people that all you got to think about is win. It doesn't matter whether it's 1-0 or 6-0. To have that on a consistent level and the players playing at that high intensity and then at that elite play all season and all calendar year is unbelievable for me. I think that's the scariest thing, to keep everybody playing at that level with that mentality, because mentally it's tough. It wears you down.
Yeah. But
the players just keep rolling through like it's the first game of every season that comes up, basically, and it's a great way to play.
Do you think as well that, I mean, of course, I know Pep spoke about this before, but I guess we also have to give credit there to, not only, you got Ferran Soriano, of course, who was sat at the top and kind of definitely spearheading the mind behind kind of what the CFG are doing as a whole, but then we got to mention Cheeky Bergerstein as well. He's kind of come in a couple of seasons before Pep, was instrumental in bringing Pep as well, because they're friends, but also he's bringing in the players that can take on that mentality, I guess, and that's an important thing to remember. It's the type of player we're bringing in, not just ability-wise, but inside and in there as well. That's important, Shaun.
Yeah, I mean, recruitment's a huge part, but, you're talking about the profile of the player, and something I've just come to learn about what City is so important of the type of player, and, there's loads of talented players, but if they aren't a humble person, a genuine good person, then, City's not really interested. So you can be a top footballer. So when you look at the players that City, bring through the academy to a player they go and buy, these are humble individuals, and they just get on with things. And the saying that comes to mind is, we develop the person, the player comes along. And that's when I'm over at the academy, that's what I see. They got players. This has been going on for years. If you're around the training ground, it's like they come over and they greet you, they shake your hand, or fist pump you, whether you're a member of staff or not. This is just, if you're in the cafeteria or what have you, they come over, they fist pump you, so they greet you, hello, how you doing, and whether you're a member of staff or not. And it's just things that they do. It's just, for me, I think just...
How many times did you want to say that part? Because you said it a couple of times.
I wanted to get that part in.
To make the point. Just as well, Shaun's just rubbing it in that, yes, Shaun, all right, you've been fist bumping the players, have you? I'll get there, all right. I'm not there yet, but I'll be...
a couple fist bumps.
Yeah. I just can't wait. I was saying before the show, I said, I just can't wait till I'll be able to see Kev and Jack and be saying, yes, Kev, what are you saying, lad? Saying, Jack, you're all right. All right, mate. There was a lovely moment as well. Should we quickly play a lovely moment of Jack Grealish? I mean, he got his chant as well. We're singing Super Jack. Lovely moment here as well. Of course, him giving his shirt there to a fan, which what a man. Jack, I love you if you're watching. You know how much I love you. And if we'll probably clip it up and get it on socials, but I think it was our first or second goal in the team huddle. Such a beautiful moment. No one saw him, but as the team dispersed, there's one little lad who had just got in the middle of the huddle celebration and then taken back to his seat. It was so amazing, man. It was magic to watch. I mean, we could wax superlative about tonight's performance, but I think we've been there and covered a lot of the bases. One thing we haven't done, Shaun, is look at today's Cryptic City result. So let's remind ourselves of what it was. You were sending in your guesses. I can tell you as well, I've had a few correct ones, but tonight it's all about Shaun Wright-Phillips, because you've had to take a while, like your fantasy, to get used to the game. and you've come in and absolutely nailed it, haven't you, Shaun? Go on. Who is today's Cryptic City?
Alfie Haaland.
There we go.
Hey, I'm happy.
I'm very happy. I'm happy for you as well. And what a man. And Shaun, I don't know if you're in touch with him, but I wouldn't be doing my job as a City fan to go if you're not speaking to his dad about a certain son of his. If you potentially listen. He potentially fancies it. If there's one man this team needs.
I'm working on that.
You're working on that. There we go. Super Agent
My
Shaun.
people's in touch with his people.
Right, my dear friends, what an absolute treat and what a performance. One of them special nights at the Etihad that will long live in the memory. And it's been a joy to be with you for it. I want to say a massive thank you to our guests as always, Shaun Wright-Phillips and Shaun Gota. And thank you to all the team behind the scenes who bring the show. And thank you to you for watching. We, of course, will be back to you Sunday for our next Premier League game. It's coming thick and fast. And I think I'll be seeing you. Well, mad to say, I think I'm going to be seeing you on Boxing Day for the game against Leicester. So I very much look forward to that. If I don't see you before, have a very Merry Christmas and I'll see you then. Have a lovely evening. Thanks for watching.
Foden, he really is a true force of nature.